Hey everyone, Thordan Smash here, and today we are going to be talking about, well, collection events and how they seem to be returning in a full way that you can get old heirlooms. It's kind of a weird thing going on, and along with that, some other people, such as the Apex Legends pro scene, are not happy with this current state of Apex Legends. We're going to encompass all of that in today's video. We're also going to go ahead and give out one of the upcoming Bloodhound heirloom recolors. All you gotta do is like, comment, subscribe, you guys know the drill, but without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. So, recently Apex Legends has decided to introduce something new this season, and you might have noticed it. There's a new feature where now you can go ahead and just buy whole past collection events and, go ahead and get the heirloom. Right now they have the Raiders retro pack and they are planning to do more of them. I don't know that this is necessarily a bad thing. It's nice that you can go ahead and directly buy the heirloom you want right now. That being said, I think it might not be the correct thing to focus on. They've also gone ahead and brought back battle passes, as you are probably also aware, and they're going to do all the way up to season 21. Currently we have the Saviors retro pack, and it will go to season 14 next week with the Vantage season. And this is going to go all the way until New Year, December 31st. I mean, this is kind of obvious right now because Apex Legends is supposed to be going large systematic change at EA after missing monetization targets for the latest release. And they're going to add more ways to actually spend money. And again, I'm not necessarily against things being put back into the shop so people can buy it, but it does become abundantly clear that the focus this season seems to be way more on how to go ahead and get us to spend money rather than fixing things at the game. I actually put out my opinion the other day, and the whole excuse of Apex Legends shop team is different than the design team, well, true, just allows EA as an excuse to focus on monetization rather than overall game improvement. The billion-dollar company doesn't need you to defend them. And this is something that's been echoed and shared a lot. In fact, Imperial Hal and It's Timmy recently did an interview with Dexerto with a pretty big quote saying, "I'm pretty afraid. I feel like the last couple of months there hasn't been a sign of life." And this is kind of interesting because we do know that Imperial Hal does talk about the state of the game a lot and kind of voices his displeasure, but I've actually never seen It's Timmy say that. In fact, It's Timmy had some interesting quotes here saying, "For me, as a little bit of a mixed content creator and pro player, I think that when it comes to content, as the game gets progressively older and older, it gets kind of hard to keep up the pace. It's just that things are no longer impressive to watch anymore because you've seen it 1,000 times. Unless they do a massive overhaul where all the characters are different, guns are different, Apex will never have that fresh feeling. But it's pretty difficult right now because they're trying to cater to the casuals, cater to the pro players. Ultimately, when you choose one side, the other will complain. Where we are right now, the game is very comp driven. People only watch Apex to watch scrims or watch tournaments." And once again, I find that pretty surprising because It's Timmy doesn't really get critical of the game at all. And so if he's saying something, things might actually be a little bit more dire than we were led to believe. Of course, Hal also went ahead and gave his thoughts, saying that the fundamental systems of the game are a problem, both the rank system and the content in the game. And not only are they fighting against themselves, but they're fighting against Black Ops 6, other big name games like Valorant. They're fighting all these other big games, and they're not even matching what they're giving. If you're not doing the bare minimum, you're just gonna go downhill gradually, which is what's been happening, right? Their biggest problem has always been content. You wait 3 or 4 months, new season comes out, they buff a character or two, and it's like, okay, now the character is meta, but the character's been in the game, people are playing it. But they haven't made it more popular, there's nothing new. And he's not necessarily wrong. This season, in my personal opinion, is a little bit of a filler season. I mean, you kind of have to look around. The OG mode is just basically a rehash of when the game came out, and I did enjoy my time in that. Right now, Straight Shot Revival came back, and that is a previous LTM. And next month, we are getting the Winter Express returning on the 17th, but once again, that is a mode that we've had in the past. Hopefully there's some twists and turns as it has been talked about, but I don't know that's enough to actually move the player count back into the numbers where it was. It has actually been steadily declining, as we've talked about. It did bump up 2,000 average players, but hasn't even cracked 90,000, so it's an all-time low for Apex Legends. And again, it's because it seems to be a lot of focus is on skins, and selling them to us in new ways. In fact, with that new winter mode, we are getting that new reactive Hemlock skin, which is weird because it's a milestone event. Once again, not a huge fan of this. And the skins coming in feature the new Bloodhound heirloom recolor, and then some of the new ones for Bangalore, such as this one here, actually seems to be a different variant of the one that's already for Gibraltar. So they've just gone ahead and made the more popular ones, such as the Pandemonium, now available for other characters. Once again, not a bad thing, but clearly there's a lot more emphasis at the Respawn team right now on adding new types of cosmetics into the game rather than new modalities of play and making the game fresh and feel fresh. On the other side though, Imperial Hal and It's Timmy did give a really interesting idea that I'm actually kind of down for, and it has to do with the meta. Timmy said things like the Newcastle buff, it isn't really that bad. Obviously he's broken, but he's broken because he's the only one that's good like that. But if you brought back the old Horizon on launch, is he that good? Is he really that good compared to her? And then you bring back the original Pathfinder or the peak version, Hal chimes in. He says, yeah, the peak of every character of the game would be more fun. You get to play whatever you want and whatever style you want. They just need to buff every character to a point where they're all useful and strong, and then the ones that are bad, they just need to rework them. Like, Mirage has been so bad for so long, and I know they want to keep the fact that he's got Mirage clones and stuff, but like, we're kind of past that point, you know what I mean? We're past Season 0, where you throw a Mirage clone, someone shoots it, and you can see them, and he's absolutely right. But the focus with buffing legends always seems to coincide with an heirloom. We know Newcastle is actually getting one in the very near future. He's next up, and it makes sense. That's why they buffed him a lot. So they don't put a lot of emphasis on Mirage or other characters unless we are going to get a Mirage heirloom recolor in the very near future. Apex Legends, once again, absolutely great game, but when you look at it compared to all the other big titles out there right now, just isn't putting out a ton of content, and again, their content that they focus on tends to be microtransactions, which are definitely not micro anymore, with milestone events that cost around $300, and that's going to be the next Winter Express mode, and so on and so forth. It gets a little disheartening on whether or not they're actually going to make big changes to bring the game back to the state that it was and compete with other big juggernauts. But that's going to be basically this video today. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. We'll go ahead and run some community clips now. Don't forget to submit your own to me on Thordan Smash on Twitter, but without further ado, let's roll the clips.
Enemy, good, there.
Brothers, replicator, incoming.
Reloading. I'm cover for you, mate. Keep your mess out of the fast lane, plonkers. Took down an enemy. Ring close in 1 minute.
down below, what are your guys' thoughts on the situation with collection events coming back in a full way? Are you happy that you can go ahead and get some old heirlooms and not have to risk shards? Also, don't forget to check out this video right here by my editor Novell, who does amazing Apex Legends content. And until next time, everyone, keep slaying the Outlands. I'll see you out there.